Lawrence is muted. I was waiting for that. For that.
I did not say a word. That was a pantomime. You can't prove anything.
That's fair. That's completely fair.
I've been getting to mimery.
Is that the art? Is that the art of being a mime? It's mimery now.
Yes.
As famously sung by the Beastie Boys in "Miming and Stealing." That was horrible. Oh, good morning. I've missed you guys. I'm happy to be here.
Missed you too.
Yeah.
It's nice to see you. It's nice to see you. If you are in the chat, welcome to the Brunch Gimmick. Lawrence, I don't know how we want to do this. I admittedly showed up late. Do you want to handle buttons? Do you want me to handle buttons? Do you want me to talk?
You can talk.
All right, I'll talk.
Yeah.
Welcome to the Brunch Gimmick here on Love Wrestling. If you're tuned in already, in the comment section, let us know. Throw us a like. Help us bump up in the former vice president's dance moves. The algorithm.
Boo. Boo.
Come on. That was pretty good. I think that was pretty good. I had a good walk with my dog this morning, so I'm a little extra happy today because he's been, I don't know, you guys are both on my Facebook, so you saw the photo I posted there the other day of Rip getting in there into the couch cushions.
Mm-hmm.
So we had a good little walk today, though I will be checking a couple of times when he leaves. But like I was saying, if you're here in the chat, let us know. Let us know if there's anything you want to chat about. Throw us a like. Rip, I know. Say hello to my dog.
Yeah, Rip.
Yeah.
The real showstopper.
Ripperoo.
It's the big dog.
Whose yard is it?
Rip's yard.
He and The Undertaker and myself and Roman Reigns will be wrestling in a fatal four-way to determine whose yard it truly is.
Yeah.
But how are you guys doing? It is good to see you this AM on the Brunch Gimmick. Blair, it's been a hot minute.
I haven't seen you in a while, I feel. It's been I feel like it's been like a month almost.
Well, I'll be honest, a couple of times over the last few weeks, and again, not to throw you under the bus, but he hasn't been all that good on his WALKs. So
Yeah.
I've been getting home a little bit later than expected, as I'm sure Lawrence can vouch for when I showed up halfway through brunch a couple of weeks ago.
I think that's the last time I saw you, because that was the tarps off day, and we went an extra half hour.
Yeah.
Well, that's not a bad problem when the tarps are coming off.
Hell yeah.
Down, please.
Tarps off, let's have a Tilly.
Okay, there, Shorzy. Lawrence, how you doing, stud?
I am great. I really enjoyed AEW last night. I did some chores today. I'm feeling pretty good.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, one of those things sounds much better than the other. If you guys want a full gear recap, tune into the stream replay of firmly
AEW.
full gear.
Yeah.
That's a Freudian slip.
Yeah.
Tune into Firmly AEW over on the Twitch machine here on Love Wrestling. JPJ and Drew, as always, did a great job of recapping not just an AEW event, but an AEW Premium Live event. Haha, they're going to hate that.
Yeah.
But make sure you tune into that. But of course, like I watched it last night. Admittedly, I was watching it sort of side-eyeing while at work. But thoughts? Let's recap it real quickly. Like, Lawrence, you watched it live last night. What'd you think?
Oh, I enjoyed the whole show more or less. Like I think the only Jericho Young Bucks match is the only one where like I was completely out on.
Yeah.
But like the Swerve Hangman match was just a work of brutal art. Like they told an amazing story in the most violent way possible from the very beginning of that match. Like having Hangman jump Swerve before his entrance, even giving Prince Nana his moment with the backup dancers, which he absolutely killed. That was absolutely
if you thought
perfect.
Christian's entrance was good.
Yeah.
Oh man, Prince Nana blew it out of the water last night.
Yeah. Oh man, they hit that choreography perfectly.
It was beautiful, absolutely beautiful. You know, Blair, obviously I'll ask you too, but Jericho and Omega versus the Young Bucks, maybe it wasn't even the match I was most looking forward to, but it was in a tough spot mostly because it had to follow an all-time great all-elite wrestling match, right? Blair, your thoughts?
You know, I think that a lot of matches in that spot would have suffered. Like when you have the known value of those kind of wrestlers, you put them in there. Match might take a little bit to get going, but the crowd definitely bought into it. Whereas I had fears that the TBS title match was going to get put in there and it was just going to die. And
shout out Julia Hart.
From the Hart Delegation Minneapolis chapter.
I was just gonna say, not part of the Ross, Wayne, Brett, Bruce. Oh man, that should even just be a Quizplex trivia question because, as an Albertan, I feel like you have to know it. When I took my citizenship test, I had to name every member of the Hart family, but I wonder how many I could actually do.
You know those I
don't think I'd get all of them. I wouldn't be able to get all of the kids.
There's those quizzes where you have to name all 100 members of the NWO in 3 minutes, and you're typing them in and then they pop up. Do that, but with the Hart legacy, just to see.
Shout out to Mars and Thickness, and actually check out the Short Kings podcast over on the Short Kings YouTube channel or on Spotify and other places. I'm sure those are just my primary two. But they introduced me to a game called Pokeduku, where you basically fill out a Sudoku of different Pokemon based on their type or their region or anything like that. That's been my latest quiz obsession. But stay tuned as we prep to announce. I don't know, it's show week. I'm all over the place. As we get set to announce some exciting news about Quizplex coming up next month for champion Zach. I can't really throw Zach under the bus because number one, he's the one who got us into the situation with 4 champions. But number 2, congrats, Zach.
Yeah. Huge congrats to Zach.
Having another child. Congratulations to Pirate Paul Burchill Ralph coming into the world.
I can't remember what I put down. I think I said Legion of Doom Ralph.
I'm really happy that everybody went with the gimmick.
Oh, yeah.
Paul Burchill's back, by the way. That just sort of came out of nowhere. Wrestling for the NWA, I guess that's where all their budget cuts are going to. Ooh.
Yeah.
That was stiff, but that was fair. Look, man.
What happened to the CW? You know,
what happened to the CW?
What happened to the CW?
The CW was cool, man.
I was excited to watch that, followed by Veronica Mars, and have like a nice
Veronica
Thursday.
Mars forever.
Man, I don't know. I think it was Ross Berman who tweeted it out, but like, Billy Corgan did an interview recently where they were talking about like the financials of the NWA and all of that. He's like, "Oh no, we're gonna be fine. You know, the Smashing Pumpkins have been doing great."
Yeah.
Like,
we're great.
And
I could get a third mortgage on my house.
That's I can't critique, man. I as a wrestling promoter, it's a struggle, and the NWA is bigger than Love Pro Wrestling. Let's just get real right at this point. But like, man, as a PR guy, how? I just don't understand. Lots of love to the NWA, and I'll say it every time. There's a lot of great people in that organization, but
I was happy to see Mo Jabari got a match. You know?
Happy to see Mo Jabari.
Yeah.
Shout out to him.
Yeah.
Wrestling Kobe Carino as well, too. So cheap plug for me. I interviewed Kobe Carino about a year ago. Check that out on this here YouTube channel. But obviously exciting. Like, how can you not? Shout out as well to Taylor Rising. Like, again, there are a lot of great parts of the NWA. There really, really are a lot of great parts of the NWA. But it's bleak.
Yeah.
That's lots of love to him, but it's a tough time. That being said, it was a great pay-per-view last night.
So good.
No, up and down. I just wanted to really transition out of that. You know, I don't like being all that negative on things on here. I'm Brunch Gimmick on Love Wrestling, where hopefully you've thrown us a like.
It's funny, because a lot of people weren't. I found on Twitter did not like the main event, but when you look at the crowd reaction, I was surprised how into it they were live. Like,
crowd was rad last night. That was awesome last night.
And a great venue too. I thought it looked incredible on TV.
I don't know.
You didn't
I
like
liked
it?
when they had like I liked when they had like the crowd pans, but like it was a very distinct two levels. It's like, remember in Monty Python and the Holy Grail how they wanted two different shrubberies for that 2-level effect?
Never
really
seen
had that 2-level effect. And I wasn't what?
Never seen it.
Have you seen The Meaning of Life?
I don't know what the meaning of life is.
Zach, we've really got a fine system in place, don't we? We've got to get a fine system in place if we don't.
No.
How can you?
Or Life of Brian.
If we didn't find out the hard way, what happened when we streamed copyrighted content?
Yeah.
We would be watching Monty Python and the Holy Grail tonight. However, we will later on be watching.
Watch along.
We could do a Discord watch along. I don't know how Discord works. I basically I'm lucky I got in on Twitter even when it started, because since then, like, I don't understand the TikTok machine. I don't know how to use any of it, really. Even Twitch. Twitch is hard. Twitch is a hard thing to do. Yeah. So thanks for tuning in here on YouTube. Back to the main event, man. I don't know. I liked it as a match, but like, I'll compliment sandwich this one. MJF's an all-time great already at this point. He's what, 26, 27? Already an all-time great. That being said, I didn't like Super MJF last night. The dude got Pillmanized. He got his ass kicked by two dudes. One part I don't understand is like, okay, so the guy injured his leg and wasn't cleared to compete, but then a dude who had surgery a month ago on literally, they both had it happen to their left legs. He was cleared to compete somehow.
But only for the main event, not for the ROH tag match that was 2 hours
later. I didn't dislike the match. I did dislike the booking of it. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I fully agree. That's what made no sense to me. Was like, it would have made a little more sense had they waited to do the whole we're gonna take the title off, we're gonna end the match now sort of thing that they did with Bryce, where they're about to give the title to Jay White. They should have waited and done that at the main event, like right before the match, and have like Adam Cole kill time for him, and like it would have made more sense than having him not be cleared for taking some chair shots to the leg, but having somebody who literally is in a boot, his street clothes and crutches, be cleared to wrestle. Like,
yeah. Again, I liked the match. Zach, you put her perfectly in there. Great NXT main event on AEW.
Yeah.
Stylistically, not as far as developmental or whatever you want to call it. Yeah, weird one. That being said, that friggin' main event reinforced for me that I think Adam Cole is the devil.
Yeah. Well, like I've been on
Ben Franklin, every single time I talk about it, all I can hear is Bobby Boucher's mama. I invented electricity. Benjamin Franklin is the devil. Adam Cole is the devil.
Well, like,
you know why they didn't do a big devil reveal last night to close the show? Because I was disappointed too. I was sort of hoping for one. Because the devil was right the hell there. He was right beside MJF. He was right beside him. Yeah. I don't think it was unintentional trying to like, oh no, Jay White got the Dynamite Diamond ring. I think that was intentional.
And the title belt.
I stand by it. Yeah.
Because even on Dynamite, was it when they had Roddy talking to?
By the way,
that's okay. Roddy was talking to MJF or to Adam Cole on the screen, and he's talking. He's like, he's the devil, and he's pointing at Adam Cole. Like they're like
Blair,
laying it right out there.
The devil. He's the devil.
He's the devil.
He's the devil.
And like,
he's got to be.
Throughout the match, commentary mentioned it after like the third time it happened, but like I clued into it like almost right away. Every time Adam Cole would like give MJF advice or tell him to do something, it backfired every single time. Even before like he gave him the title, like he's like, do a dive, do this. It always got countered. It always led to MJF taking another bump on his leg. Like it's been like a story throughout of just everything Adam Cole has done has somehow led to MJF getting weaker and more injured.
Yeah. I don't know. I can't say it any better. I thought the match was cool. Like in a vacuum itself, really, really fun match. When you sort of take all of the pieces they've been building towards here. And like, again, I'm beating a dead horse here because a lot smarter people than me have made this point, but like, man, what I don't want to use the phrase buried because by no means do I think he is, but like Jay White lost to a dude who got Pillmanized and went to the hospital and drove an ambulance back and already had wrestled that night and like went for half an hour. Weird.
Yeah, I think there's a lot of questionable aspects involving this entire storyline, and especially on the pay-per-view, like even with the ambulance thing and all of that, I think there are different ways that they could have gone about it and not had such a negative reaction to how it all played out.
Yeah.
So, but if I'm going to say one, something negative, I want to add in one very positive thing that I thought Chris Statlander looked like an absolute machine out there.
Match was a blast.
Such a good match. Fun.
Man,
like, they're doing such a great job with almost like that. I don't want to say like lower level, but like that second tier of women's wrestlers with like the Willow, Stat, like returning Red Velvet, like Julia Hart. All of them have just been fantastic for like the past month and a half or so. So like, I'm loving what I'm seeing.
I don't mean this phrase as an insult whatsoever. I think like all of the best shows in history have had a great mid card, and it's very, very cool. With WWE for years, it was always frustrating that it was basically the women's title scene or nothing. No women's match, no nothing. And the AEW women's division has certainly been a source of contention, rightfully so, for a lot of people for years. But like you say, with those three as sort of, I don't want to use the word pillars, as foundations of like a women's mid-card, and like you say, with a Willow Nightingale in there. It's pretty cool to see. And we've been able to see it for years, don't get me wrong. But there's a lot of potential there, and I really hope they start to execute on it.
Yeah.
Because that match was a blast. And in the long run, like, I think SRS was making the point on his show last night, like, not a lot, or the three of those women haven't been wrestling for, like, decades each. No. It's pretty cool to see, like, raw talent out there. They're going to be stars for years, right?
Yeah. Like Julia Hart's just 23, something like that, like super young, and like has done an amazing job embodying this like version of her character. Like from the entrance on out, just like absolutely deserves to be champion. Like no one's gonna deny her that. Like it was a smart move to put the belt on her.
Yeah.
Phil.
Oh, it was her time.
Yeah.
It's just it was her time. Man, I feel not bad by any means because like she's the only other 3-time women's champion in AEW history, but like Hikaru Shida has like every time she's won through no fault of her own, it's just been like the right time for someone else. And Timeless Tony Storm is just another example of that because man, no matter how good Shida's been, no matter how good anybody may have been in the last little bit, Tony Storm's been like the highlight of AEW for the last little while. Ophelia, good to see you. Shouting out as well. Chris Statlander with another Ben Stiller outfit. Hell yeah to the Globo Gym Purple Cobras. I was a huge fan. Huge fan. Celebrity influence everywhere. It was nice to see Ken Jeong booing Christian Cage right off the bat in the patriarchy.
Was that Rick Rubin in the front row too?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
I believe so.
Yeah.
And Stephen Amell. Scab.
Scab.
Yeah, you disagree as well. Thank goodness all that promotion for wrestlers worked out. So no, that's mean.
Yeah.
Downright. That's mean. Don't cross picket lines. Two things can be true at once. We were both rude in our own respective ways.
Yeah. That's okay.
Sorry, I think I'm allergic to coffee, which is going to be a real trouble for me.
I had a nice glass of eggnog while we were getting started.
Hey! That's good to know.
I love eggnog.
Well, now, next time you're out here, I'll make sure we've got some for you.
Hell yeah.
It's in the very specific time frame that eggnog is sold.
Yeah, just buy a carton, and then when I'm out there in January, I'll have some.
Oh, you're coming out for the Oil Rumble?
I might try for the Rumble or the show following.
It's that week, though.
Is it that week? Okay.
Yeah, we're on Sunday the 21st, and then LPW 22, which we've confirmed the branding for, friends, which is dangerous in the best of ways.
So I'm going to figure things out.
Yeah, JPJ's coming up for the week. Lawrence, make your way out here. Come to Edmonton.
I might be.
Everybody's doing it.
Yeah.
Everybody's doing it. Anything else from Full Gear? There's not really much I want to touch on.
There's the ladder match too, is pretty good. Like I really enjoyed that. What else? I think that's about it.
I'm curious as to, because I mean it seemed pretty straightforward that Mox was going to have a run with the international title, which fell short with the injury, and with OC winning last night, I'm really curious as to the direction they're going to go now. Who's going to be next in line for that? I'm just stoked because I loved his first run. The matches were incredible. Every week he had a great match. So I just want to know see what the plan is going forward with this.
I don't disagree. That's one of the ones, to be honest with you, that I've got to tune back into.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't get much of a chance to watch with this sort of focus. I was this sort of focused.
It was a good match. It was a very good match. I really enjoyed that one too. Like Mox, like looked strong, but also really did put over Orange Cassidy, who won clean. Like 5 orange punches and a beach break to beat him was like really cool ending to the match.
Sometimes you just realize talking about wrestling, like what a weird sport we work in. He beat him clean, just 5 orange punches there at a beach break.
I mean, we watched a man drink another man's blood, then spit it out.
Hang Grell. I saw a couple of people tweeting about it, and I loved it.
I'm very excited for the reboot of True Blood, so I can't wait to see where they go with this.
I don't know. I didn't like the original. It's like Degrassi Next Generation. Like it's good. It's just it's not the same. Rep, you got to stay down. You've got to settle.
And truth be told, I checked out of True Blood a few seasons in just because it was it was out there.
Truth be told, I miss you.
Oh, I miss you too.
I'm not going to say the next sentence then, but that was an All-American Rejects reference for you fellow youths out there. Omar making a good point. Saw you in here earlier. Sorry to miss your earlier comments. Friends, I'm excited for your Xavier Woods piece as well. Swerve is probably a strong contender for the world title. I don't disagree. Someone last night, I don't know if it was Denise. I've listened to a lot of podcasts over the last couple of days, so I don't know if it was like Denise Salcedo or who was the one who floated this idea, but Ospreay versus Swerve at All In next year.
Yeah,
I did that.
You suggested that?
Yeah,
well,
I did.
Yeah. Heck yeah, then you're also a smart and handsome individual.
In my mind, I think you have Swerve win at Revolution, and you run Swerve Ospreay at All in Wembley, and that's where Ospreay wins. I think that'd be incredible.
Will Ospreay winning that's going to be very, very cool.
Yeah, I mean,
hopefully he doesn't take Emmy Sakura's theme song.
Yeah.
Oh God.
I've been real stiff this morning. I don't even know where this is coming from.
Okay.
All of this is coming from a place. All of this is coming from a place of teehees as well too.
When you said, "Is there anything else to talk about?" I'm kind of going through my head of like, okay, I mentioned Statlander, and then it totally dawned on me that like I'd forgotten Ospreay was the signing last night. Like there's just been so much other stuff that happened, but I'm excited for that too.
I like it.
Yeah.
I really like it. To be honest with you, sort of figured he would go there. Like, lots of love to WWE, but like, I don't know. Maybe it's just me and like my own sort of views on stuff. But like having the ability, like we just talked about, All In, to be able to main event the biggest show in wrestling in your home country, like I would have to assume here, and again, purely assuming here, that the money would have been equal either way. That guy was going to get paid no matter where he went. So like, when those are sort of the differentiators, the Fightful report also said that he's going to be able to live in the UK still. And like, if that's the stuff that's important to you, then cool. It makes a lot of sense. And just, it seems like All Elite's always been a little more willing to offer that sort of stuff in their early days. Again, I can't speak to contract, like actual details and stuff like that. Just speculating that like, it seems like AEW is really willing to do that stuff.
Yeah,
you hear of a lot of people moving to Florida. You know what I mean?
The opportunity to still work New Japan shows. I mean, like there's still freedom for him, so I think that's huge too because of the history he has with New Japan. So.
Yeah, don't disagree with you at all. Yeah, it was very, very exciting to see that though. I was excited. A lot of speculation on a lot of people. Can't believe it was not the Kiss Demon Dale tour board, but good news, you guys. That means he's still a free agent. Dale, if you're watching this, please shoot me over your contact information. I'm even more inspired after going and seeing Kiss a couple of weeks ago. Like,
I would ask how it was, but I'm going to assume that you had an incredible time.
Yes, it was. I believe I was overserved. But I had a lot of fun. It was actually really, really cool. They were like my last bucket list band, you know what I mean? Like, there are a lot of I want to see, but like you're never gonna see Zeppelin. Like, they're either dead or the band members are like never going to reunite, anything like that.
That was your first time seeing them?
Yes. But I had tickets a number of times to see Kiss. The first time I was 16, and I had tickets to go see him in Calgary, but I ended up running the car into a ditch, so I got grounded.
Oh, that's fair.
Yeah, that'll do it. I was 17, sorry, because if I was driving and I didn't get my license when I was 16, I was like getting my learners. I don't know if that makes sense for either of you guys. I don't know driving laws elsewhere.
When I was...
Welcome to our wrestling brunch talk. Rip,
Yes,
get down. Not while I've got a big cup of coffee, you jerk.
Yeah, I had my beginners, because back then you could get your beginners 6 months before you were 16, so I had that. And I think I ended up getting my license like 8 months into being 16. So it's just,
Quick
I failed the
turnaround time.
first instance. Yeah.
You can get your learners in Alberta when you're 14, which just think about that. And then you have to have your learner's license for at least a year, and then you can get your license at 16 after that.
Okay.
So I got my learners when I was 16, so I had to spend for years, so yada, yada, yada.
Yeah.
Anyways, that's the story of how I crashed my first vehicle and didn't get to
Kiss.
go see Kiss. Welcome to the Brunch Gimmick here on Love Wrestling. If you're just tuning in, we're chatting a little bit of Full Gear. We're probably going to move on here sooner rather than later from that, though. And we are going to tune in to some triple threat action from Love Pro Wrestling 2. Lumberjack Larry Woods, your current grand champion. Jack Pride, your current Sco Ramble champion. And Mo Jabari, currently appearing for the National Wrestling Alliance. How things change, hey?
Yeah.
Pretty friggin' cool. But if you're just tuning in, throw us a like. it would be really appreciated to help bump us up the algorithm, whether we're live or whether we're not live, recorded, post, whenever, whatever this is after we're not live, because it's not recorded. See, my Michael Scott syndrome just kicking in, hey? But throw us a like. It's super appreciated before we tune into some pro wrestling. Anything else you guys want to chat about? I admittedly, it was a busy week with work, so I'm playing a lot of catch up on wrestling today before I go for dinner with my parents.
I mean, I wasn't able to catch a whole lot. It's just been a busy week. So, I mean, the only other thing of real note for me when it came to wrestling was Ronda Rousey showing up at ROH for a match, which was very surprising. But besides that, that's it. SmackDown apparently had a great Dragon Lee versus Axiom match that I got to check out still. So,
and saw some highlights from that. I'm excited to tune in on that end of things.
And Chris Hero returning to wrestling.
Yeah. Oh man, so exciting to see that. I think everybody who watches indie wrestling was waiting for that for years and years. Yeah. So very, very cool to see it. Shout out to West Coast Pro. I obviously haven't had a chance to see that yet other than the clips on Twitter, but man, just it's always great to have one of the great ones back in it.
Yeah, yeah,
hell yeah. Look at this. My freaking dog. He sees two dogs outside right now. I don't know if you can see him, but this is the sheer focus.
He's working security. It's his job.
Top flight security of the world, Craig.
Here's the thing. I'd have more dogs if he was better with other dogs. He gets so excited. Just an excited little dude. Ophelia making a good point. The Big Osprey signing 2 weeks before tickets for Wembley go on sale makes perfect marketing sense. I don't disagree. It at least starts to make a little bit more sense why Tony hyped that up so much. Do I think... Yeah, we'll just leave that one alone. Rousey and Ring of Honor. Rousey of Honor. Ugh.
I was surprised. I did not expect that. And I know it's only a one-shot deal, I think. But, hey, whatever.
Fair play to Ronda Rousey.
Yeah, go for it. Do your thing.
She could kick my ass, but I don't want to see her in a wrestling ring, personally.
Yeah, the only thing you can say about that is it makes more sense than signing Ric Flair. Yeah.
Just barely.
Yeah.
At least I'm not scared when Ronda takes a bump.
Also, he should have been disqualified during that match. He quite blatantly started hitting Christian right in front of the ref.
Good on Christian.
Yeah, and then Christian...
You know what? I'm just happy that Christian, I'm sure as soon as he heard Ric Flair is willing to take bumps, I'm going to hit him in the dick.
Yeah.
That was the entire
They didn't even get the words
conversation backstage.
They just started with, Rick, I'm going to hit him in the dick.
You know what I hate more than fathers? Grandfathers.
Nigel had a good line about Ric Flair that I don't know if I can repeat on stream. But
and the pay-per-view quality, hey?
When I heard it, I was like, yeah, that's a good one, Nigel. So
I have to tune in for commentary. I was happy I bought the pay-per-view. But like I said, and just huge shout-out as well. And then in a second here, I got to go grab my computer charger and top up my coffee before we start here. But huge shout out to the Sherwood Park Crusaders of the AJHL. Another win last night. We are 21-5. So
nice.
I'm a diehard Oilers fan. Don't get me wrong, but maybe while Edmonton's NHL team ain't doing as well as we sort of expected, come check out Sherwood Park's AJHL team.
Yeah.
Just support local when you got the opportunity. If we're going to shout out indie wrestling, we're going to shout out junior hockey. Almost the best equivalent I can give.
Also,
indie hockey doesn't have the same ring to it.
Yeah. It's Grey Cup night tonight, and for the first time since 2010, my Montreal Alouettes are in the Grey Cup final.
Oh, I'll make you a bet because Hamilton's in it too, isn't it? Oh no, Toronto. No,
Winnipeg. I think
there we go. There we go.
I forget what.
Hi, JPJ.
Yeah.
Good to see ya. Welcome. Throw us a like. You know all that good stuff that you say at the start of Beards? I'll just say the same to you. Throw us a like. Hammer that share button. All that good stuff. I feel like we're on the precipice of the two of you having to make a bet here. Not cash-wise, but there's got to be some sort of stakes on the line here. If it's Montreal and Winnipeg, and we've got a Montrealer and a Winnipegian?
A pegger?
No.
Winnipegger?
I don't know if that's...
You can't Google that.
You know what? Don't bother Googling. Just go to Urban Dictionary. It'll lay it all out for you. You're set.
You just read it. At the very least, I would suggest Urban Dictionary before you go to the Google machine. It's probably better to read about it before you head over to the images section.
You might get a video explanation of it.
Safe search on, everybody. Safe search on. That is not an I'm feeling lucky button. You
Someone might be getting lucky.
Yeah.
Oh, gosh.
Yep.
Yeah, I know, Rip. That was a gross joke.
I'm sorry.
We're going to hop in here and tune into some Love Pro Wrestling in just a minute. But, well, here's what we'll do. I'll announce a match, and then I'm going to go get a coffee and grab my charger and all of that sort of stuff. But this Friday, November 24th, is the final Love Pro Wrestling event of the year. LPW 21, The Chain Wrestling. A tribute to Fleetwood Mac. Shout out again to Zach every single time we've got a chance to bring up the artwork. Like, common occurrence to be hearing that this is one of our favorite brands yet from fans. It rhymed unintentionally, but awesomely. Very, very excited for this one. Like I said, it's our final show of the year. Killer Kelly heading to make her Love Pro debut. LLW versus MRB for the LPW Grand Championship. See? Look at that. Sometimes I got to think a little more than I want to. It doesn't roll off the tongue as naturally, but abbreviations are cool. And the Love Pro Wrestling Tag Team Championships are on the line as Paralira defends against Mars the Specialist and TJ Cannon. Your final matchup for LPW 21. So stay tuned. We'll be throwing out the full card, all that sort of good stuff there on the old social medias over the next little bit. But there you are. Tag titles on the line. Scramble Championship on the line. Travis Williams back to defend the challenge title for his first ever defense against T.Y. Jackson and a whole lot more. So pick up your tickets on tixr.com/Love Wrestling. JPJ, if you're still in the chat, speaking of picking up Love Pro tickets, Blair's coming out. We're trying to convince him to come out for the week in January, but he's going to come out for one of the shows in January.
Yeah.
So, Blair, we're going to be sliding in your DMs here sooner rather than later. I'm getting coffee, I'm getting my charger, and then we're getting to some wrestling.
Hell yeah. Hell yeah. Well, I'll try and come up with a bet for us. I don't know what it'll be, but I'll try to come up with something.
I get your firstborn
You know what?
to do my bidding.
Never going to have a firstborn, but there's two here that you can have. So I'll just package them up and send them out your way.
No, they still stay for now. Their time will come.
Oh, jeez. He mentioned Travis Williams, and Judas Icarus were on GCW this weekend too.
What show?
The Seattle show. Sovereign wrestled Thresio.
Oh yeah,
yeah.
That was a really fun match. That's why I watched that show.
I got to go back and watch it still. I've been catching up on the Wrestling Revolver event, and I missed GCW, so I got to watch that. And then they wrestled on Defy last night against Nick Gage, Artemis Spencer, and Speedball.
Yeah.
And that'll be up on streaming this week, if I'm not mistaken. Usually on Thursday, they put it up on Remix.
Yeah.
So.
Also, like, with Ospreay signing with AEW, it is insane the Speedball to AEW pipeline of just, like, having bangers with them. Just in the last 2 years, the amount of people in that company. He has not stepped foot in AEW, but has, like, wrestled almost every one of their stars.
Yeah.
Except, like, Danielson and, like, maybe one, like, and, like, Omega he's done before. Like, but this was years ago. This when they're both super young. Like, Keith Lee, he's wrestled before, but they're, like, again, both super young.
It's nice seeing the reemergence of Speedball the past few years. I'm here for it.
Speedball Bailey friggin' rules. How about if Winnipeg wins, Lawrence has to be Blair's butler for a week, and vice versa. You fly out, cover off some butler duties, take back off. Pretty easy.
Wear the little butler outfits.
A week of butlerdom. You can change his name, whether it's Jeeves or Chives or Smithers. I'm personally a Smithers guy. I was always an Archie Comics sort of guy growing up. So I personally I feel like Smithers it works well. Because it's always professional, but like Smithers got up to enough in those comics, and he helped the kids out enough that he was cool. Like every so often he looked at Archie and his shitty little jalopy and was like, "Ah, man, I've been there."
Now I'm having a resurgence of Archie characters running through my mind of all the ones that I forgot.
Like Moose Mason and
Hey,
Tom, good to see you. Thanks for hopping in.
What's up?
Check out Tom's interview with Josh Robinson, and a few of us have been on there. So check out his interview, his most recent one with Love Wrestling's own Josh Robinson. Like Moose Mason and Chuck and Nancy and Miss Grundy and
what was the is it Cheryl Blossom?
Yes,
okay.
Cheryl and Jason.
Yes.
If you've ever watched Riverdale, you're missing out on the good Archie comics. Dilton Doily.
I did watch the first couple seasons, and then I kind of trailed off.
It went downhill. Yeah. It went downhill so quickly. The last thing I remember watching on Archie was or on Riverdale. So best way I can put it is, remember when Peter Griffin, I can't remember what play it was at, but he's just nope, and he walks out. Basically had that there's a bunch of cultists bowing to a statue in the middle of a forest, and as soon as I saw that, it's no. This isn't hijinks at the beach anymore.
The statue.
Jughead doesn't even eat burgers, man. That's the thing. Is every so often he'll snack on one hamburger as a nice little tie-in, but nope. I'd gladly pay you for a burger tomorrow that I can have today.
That was the last I remember was the Malachi Black-esque masked character that was a villain, and then I checked out.
Unfortunately, two cast members of Riverdale did not win the tag team championships in the ladder match last night.
What pissed me off about that show was even the silliest thing was I grew up, I did amateur wrestling, and I swear to God, they did a pro wrestling 3 count in an amateur wrestling match that they in a high school and it that took me out of it. That and 17-year people who are supposed to be 16, 17 should not be fucking that good. That whole thing threw me off. It was super dumb and annoying. It was come on.
Yeah, so if you're looking for good Archie, you can get them while you're checking out. You can get them while you're checking out at Safeway. They're right there. I'd suggest a double digest. You get twice the comics, and it's only a 30% increase on price. You're really getting your bang for your buck there. They're not repeating comics as often, from what I can tell. That was always a big frustration for me, is they'd reuse a lot. But no, it's always worth it. Archie and Hiram Lodge. It's a classic rivalry. Talk about some of the big ones out there, Hulk and Andre, or the Leafs and the Canadiens, Hiram Lodge and Archie Andrews. There's a 30 for 30 I'm looking for. Anyways, let's watch some wrestling. Yay!
Yeah.
Thank you. I hope none of you out there took your like back. If you've hammered the like button, we hope that you don't unhammer it.
If anything, I think we just got more.
Yeah.
I hope so. I hope people tune in here not just for our wrestling opinions, because if they did, they'll probably be disappointed. Sometimes my opinions are just wrong. Okay, hold on. I'm going to have to pause this as soon as it opens. There we go. I'm going to blow my nose first as well, too. Excuse me for a second. Lawrence, vamp!
So the series ends with them in a 4-way. That is literally, I saw on the internet the other day. They just all are in a relationship with each other. All, not even a throuple. A four-way? That's how they end the series of Riverdale.
I believe that's known as a fatal 4-way.
Yeah.
So it's a sister wives type, like a
Yeah,
polygamous.
they're all dating each other. Like I think even Jughead and Archie are dating each other too. Like they knew no one was watching by the end.
Lawrence, we ain't here to yuck anyone else's yum here at Love Wrestling.
Yeah. Cool.
Good on you, Andrews, Jones, Cooper, Lodge family. Sounds like a hotel chain.
Also, shout out to Jungle Boy's dad.
Really wish...
See, I could tie it into wrestling. Jungle Boy's dad was in that show.
Hey. Bree, good to see you hopping in and bang on. You can tell me anything about the Riverdale plot and I will believe it.
Yeah.
That could be a fun little game for us there on Quizplex. A nice little intermissioner. Did it happen on Riverdale? Man, I really wish that I hadn't, got us a copyright strike because these are some of my favorite entrances heading into this match. So this was, again, not our first show, but the best way I can put it is Love Pro Wrestling's got 2 anniversaries. October 15th, 2021. That was our first ever show, Change the Game. But this was the first of our monthly series of events. So this is where the real LPW, the lore starts, I believe. So heading into this match, Jack Pride and Mo Jabari, they obviously had their history elsewhere and sort of brought that into LPW. Lumberjack Larry Woods, however, and if you got the chance, because I don't know if either of you have, but head over to Thaddeus Archer III's channel because the Archer reports leading into this and the Tales from the Undercards leading into this as well, too. Look at all the lore. My favorite word. We basically played up that we weren't able to find Lumberjack Larry Woods. I've got my shirt. I should actually go and put it on. Ben Omen designed missing poster shirts for Lumberjack Larry. Because the last time that he had wrestled prior to this show was LPW's Change the Game. So we just pretended we couldn't find Larry. He didn't show up anywhere for like the better part of 6 months. This is the first time anyone in wrestling saw Larry.
Well, that's another story for another day. Nonetheless, triple threat action.
Rans, Harry, Mo, and Curly here for this Three Stooges.
Oh, gosh. Hey, friends, can you tell I got better at sound editing? Yikes!
But now it's time to put up or shut up.
Stu Garvey's getting a bit of a fan reaction here, too.
That's a little provocative. Yeah, I'm not sure where that came from.
Referee Stuart Garvey. Speaking of, fan voting for the year-end awards of Love Pro Wrestling is going to start on December 1st. I bring that up because, of course, Stuart Garvey, our 2023 official of the year.
You can see Jack Bride, or more specifically Jack, very happy to see his old friend.
Good news for anyone tuned in. There will be some Creed deep cuts included on the LPW pre-show playlist this month. We're not going to be the millionth promotion to do My Sacrifice, you guys, but you'll probably be the first to hear What If. Oh, great tune.
They got some bangers on their albums.
I'm going. Like, my brother and I have already talked about this. He might be heading to Tampa Bay, so we haven't made any, hard plans yet. But I'm coming to Toronto. I gotta see Creed.
I would love to see them. I don't know if it'll happen, but I would love to.
You know what, Blair? Let's just drive out there.
Okay,
I'll
I'm
head
down.
out. I'll pick you up in Winnipeg on the way. We'll head out there to Toronto. Lawrence, I can't pick you up. Take the train.
No, I demand I be chauffeured. You are to wear a hat as well.
Better hope the Alouette win so I can chauffeur you around.
Canadian Goose to take people. All three of these guys are crazy.
I really like that. Nice little drop kicking bulldog.
He's two people. And Mo Jabari, he's just crazy skilled.
I always love tuning into these shows from our early days. Again, really proud of them. It's just always so cool to see how our productions developed and all that sort of good stuff.
He got caught by Jack coming in.
Yeah, this looks like Pride might be taking over here because I'm not sure. Oh!
You got to have your head on a swivel in a match like this, rolling through, shoulders down. Kick out sends Jabari right down onto the ring apron. Caught him with the shoulder.
It's incredible just to see how much everything has grown since this match.
Well, even like we were saying, sort of a couple minutes in the, not the intro, but like the intro for this match, like Jack Pride, current Scramble champion, Lumberjack Larry, current Grand champion, Mo Jabari was on the latest edition of NWA Power. Like, it's just really, really cool to see. Yeah, obviously the growth of the promotion and the production, and again, thank God my sound editing capabilities. But it's really, really cool to see the growth in like every individual too. There's nothing there.
Mo has a match coming up beginning of December here for WPW facing.
Oh, that's with James Roth, isn't it?
Oh, it's with Tyler Colton. The
there
champ.
we go.
Yeah.
Superman.
Speaking of which, when we go off air, remind me to relay some funny anecdotes that I cannot repeat on air.
Big stinger splash by Jack right there.
What?
Also, there is a chance the week AEW is in Montreal, I could end up going to 4 wrestling shows that week.
That's outstanding.
Both AEW ones, IWS is doing a no-ring show after the Dynamite, and I might go to Mystery Wrestling the next day. That evening.
Oh, hell yeah. So the first time I ever came out to Toronto, like, it was 2019. Flew out there myself for SummerSlam weekend. But it was one of the last times that they did that sort of run of, like, SmackDown, TakeOver, pay-per-view, Raw.
Yeah.
But because of that, obviously it's like a mini Mania week. Like, they did the Canadian tryout that weekend. There was a bunch of cool stuff going on. So I think I ended up going to something like 9 or 10 shows, something like that, over the course of the 6 days I was there. Because there was one venue they had downtown that, like, they were starting to run shows at like 11.
I regret not going to more of the shows that happened for the days I was out there. Like, I wish I would have checked out, because there was like an ROH show, I think, like WW Smash, just a whole whack of them. I regret that.
Oh man, that was the first time I got to see like Tony Storm wrestle and Walter. And that was back when, like, it's always a big deal to see Walter / Gunther. But that was when he was still like, oh, I'm not coming over, I'm not moving to the States, I'm not going to be in North America. It was like just a rare-ass appearance. Progress World Championship match. Real cool.
Got Cannonball in the corner, dragging him out for the cover. Mo out at 2.
Man, I really love the opportunity. This was one of those matches that, again, I told you that everybody in it sort of had some history and has some history still. But just the way that sort of things worked out in Alberta at the time, you never would have seen these 3 guys in the ring together anywhere outside of Love Pro. Remember, kids, wrestlers are independent contractors.
Another splash in the corner for Pride. Suplex right in the center of the ring.
It's a gorgeous suplex.
Slow to follow.
Rip, go get some friggin' water, man. Sitting here panting, and there's nothing wrong with you.
It's a 1. If you'd gone on him right away, you might have got more than just a 1 there.
What? Oh, they just hit each other here for a bit.
Offense for the last several minutes here. Mo's gonna have to fire back up, get some momentum going. Momentum.
I love me good chops. Also, shout out, we got the Canadian Goose Kyle Shaw on commentary here as well, too.
Larry picking his spots. Maybe that wasn't the right one, but he's...
I would have to assume that's because at this point in the show, Thaddeus was backstage filming the Archer Report.
Now back down to the floor again.
I mean, if there's one thing Larry knows about, it's chopping wood. I'm sure he's not used to being on the receiving end of chops like that.
Double clothesline from Pride and Mo Jabari. And if this, not a better spot for Lumberjack Larry to maybe sneak in here.
Even just where the hard cam is so weird to me in this. Not bad, just different. Because I think it was even like show 3 or 4 where we moved it over to that like sort of corner angle that we've got.
Huge welt on his leg. That's pretty gnarly.
Larry picking his spot. Oh, takes out Pride. Takes out Mo.
He's coming back, man. He's coming back.
Lumberjack Larry is fired up. Missing no more.
First bit of offense we've seen from his mouth, and he is fired up.
But he,
Running, twisting uppercut.
he picked the spot and picked it wisely. Fireman's carry, planning Jabari, shoulders down. Pride breaks it up.
You know, I love wrestling, and I love just like the complexity of a lot of stuff. Like, there's nothing I love more than a great submission, but sometimes you just got to boot someone right in the side. I am so glad I got better at editing video, because whatever just happened there in the color change, I'm sad and I'm sorry.
It's what I call art.
Yeah, it's actually it's
That's
abstract.
yeah.
That's what I was hoping for. I really decided on this one to try and give it a more artistic spin.
Yeah.
A real art house sort of look.
Trying to put it in the Toronto International Film Fest.
You know, lots of love to Toronto, but I really believe this should be seen by a worldwide audience. So maybe a Toronto debut.
Okay.
But the more we can get into, the better.
Yeah, that's fair.
Yeah, could be looking for that saw line.
I support you on your journey to Sundance.
Thank you. I appreciate it. I might try for South by Southwest. You know, just get the music festival in there too. I like that idea.
Rip cords out.
He was lost, and now he's found. And guess what, fellas? I'm telling you right now, we came, we saw.
Mo
But we did
Jabari
not
breaking
conquer.
up the
Nope.
cover at the last second. We talk about picking spots, and that was definitely one. Now Mo trying to pick the pieces up.
I don't know if anybody heard that, but I just had the best chest crack I've had in a long time. That was inspiring. Poetry is going to be written about that one, boys.
I'm marking down
man.
the date.
Thank you. November 19th.
11/19, 1:57 p.m. We will never forget.
11/19/2023. Make sure you mark the year too.
Yeah.
Larry and
I want to be accurate when I celebrate the anniversary. And as I get older, you know, as my memory starts to go.
Put a reminder in my phone so next year at this date we can reminisce about it.
staggering Jabari into the corner.
Thanks. You guys are good friends.
Fired up. Oh, going home there.
Jabari.
There's a whole lot of stuff in there.
Like Lord Voldemort.
What are you doing?
Fury there.
And now Jabari
I have a weird dog.
Going for his top rope.
onto that top turnbuckle. Took too much time, and he got caught.
He is just dumping him in the back with those shots. He's gonna not feel good.
Thank y'all again for tuning in here on still Sunday morning, technically, for me. It's 11:58. Thank you for tuning in here on a Sunday morning to Love Wrestling's Brunch Gimmick. You're tuned in to Jack Pride, Lumberjack Larry Woods, and Mo Jabari from LPW2. If you're enjoying what you're seeing, throw us a like. We're going to be back here next week at the same bat time, same bat channel, right here on Love Wrestling CA.
Shoving Jabari off. Jabari hit that elbow on the lumberjack.
Okay, Lawrence, here is what we should wager. Since we are, a fair distance apart and are limited to our once a week brunch appearances.
$100,000.
Yes. Yes.
Hard knee.
Excellent.
Yeah.
You heard it here first, folks.
If Winnipeg wins, you owe me $100,000. If Montreal wins, then the next time we do brunch together, you can pick my name on the bottom of the screen. If Winnipeg wins, I get to choose yours.
All right, that's fair.
Okay. You are going to become the biggest Maple Leafs fan ever.
And Butler.
And Buck.
And also you have to buttle. I believe that's what it's called. What do you call the act?
Butlering.
Hey Siri, what do you call the act of being a butler?
Also, inspiration.
Okay, so
for-
technically a butler is a manservant having charge of the wines and liquors. So I don't know if Smithers is even like just a traditional butler, you know what I mean? He might just be like a true servant. I don't know. Oh, never mind. That's Merriam-Webster. Wikipedia, the Wikipedia says that they can do basically everything. So there you go, butlers. Don't let your dreams be dreams. You can do whatever you want. You don't just have to sling drinks. We learned a lot here on the Brunch Gimmick this week.
Had a great chat. Talked full gear. Talked Riverdale. Talked butlering.
Buttling.
Buttling.
The act of doing a buttle.
Buttle.
Butts.
I
get to the core of the source we're getting at.
We are the most mature wrestling show on the internet, friends, and thank you for being here for it. You still got time to throw a like if you're just tuning in. We are getting set to wrap it up, but don't forget, on the YouTube machine, and please, if I'm wrong, Pluggo, but I believe you're going to be on the YouTube machine tonight with For Exposure. Or Blair, why did I say Pluggo?
Yes.
You guys,
we're
I'm sorry,
interchangeable.
you're both handsome, but like the difference is usually the beard. You didn't shave this morning. You're starting to get a little gristly. That's what the issue is. But you guys will be on the YouTube machine tonight, correct?
Yes, we will be doing For Exposure as we preview LPW. And Boris is joining us once again. Very excited to have him back on the show because it's always a fun time with him.
You betcha. What time is that going to be at? Get your full plug in for the show.
Okay.
We'll do mini plugs later here, but that is our next piece of live programming here on Love Wrestling.
That will be at 5 p.m. Eastern time, so it'll be on before the Grey Cup, so that because I know a lot of people are going to be tuning into that to see Green Day. So we're going to be happening before the big game. You can join us and then go watch that afterwards. So it's going to be a really good time.
Were either of you guys Community fans?
Yeah.
Yes.
So all I can think every time I hear Green Day is playing the intermission is, if either of you guys remember, there was one where they hired what they thought was Green Day to come and play.
Yeah.
Their St. Patrick's Day event, but it was just like an old Irish band named Green Day,
Yes.
D-A-I. That's all I hear. I'm just hoping you see like 4 nomads show up on stage. Or Green Day, the Green Day, because I friggin' love me some Green Day. I really, really do. But make sure you're tuning into that. Make sure you get Pluggo's thoughts on the Grey Cup as well, too.
I will. We'll
ask how he thinks the one less down will affect the Grey Cup.
Yeah, I will make sure I bring that up because I know Boris will be amped up for the Grey Cup too, even though Calgary's not in it. But
well, I can certainly tell you the Elks aren't in it either. Playoffs, we can't even win a game. Lawrence, where can the people find you, friend?
They can find me at KurtzANDG on Instagram and Twitter, and they can find me on Twitch at LJKurtzier514. I'll be streaming more. I just got FC 24. I'm probably going to be playing some UFC the next weekend. Yeah, and yeah, there's going to be more announcements coming up this week too. So look on my socials.
Gorgeous. Blair, where can the people find you?
Besides doing For Exposure tonight, you can find me up on all social media at Grandmaker Wrestling Podcast. Just dropped an episode with Boris. This upcoming week, I'm not sure who it's going to be yet because I have one recorded and I'm supposed to record one on Monday that we've been trying to reschedule. So if that one happens, that's coming out this week. If not, you're going to get the other one. So it's going to be a surprise. So just tune in. Wait for it.
Stay tuned for the next episode. Who that will be, you'll find out when it's released. Friends, thank you for tuning in. If you're here on Love Wrestling CA on YouTube, throw us a subscription, throw a like to this here video, because even after we record this, even after we finish going live, whatever, again, the proper nomenclature is for this one, helps us out a ton in the old algorithm machine. So throw us a like, give us a subscription. If you want to continue to tune in, we've got lots of great matches here to fill your time over about the next 3 hours until the start of For Exposure. Thank you again for being here. Anywhere that podcasts are played, videos are viewed, or awesome content's created by awesome people, you can find us at Love Wrestling CA. We're threading now because Threads, admittedly, they've got a desktop app now, so it's a lot easier for old Spencer and his carpal tunnel hands. He's hurt. My fingies hurt. My back's going to hurt because you just pulled landscaping duty. A real long self-pop for me. But we're threading now. We're on the X machine. We're on Facebook. All of those sorts of good things. So throw us some love at Love Wrestling CA. If you want to follow me, it is at Spenny Love over in this little corner here. And if you haven't seen, brand new Oil Rumble merchandise is now available. So shoot me a DM if you'd like to get some access to that. We've also got our Patreon discount code that I'm realizing right now that I've got to hop on there and, throw the Patreon discount code on there for your merch, of course. But if you want to pick up some merch, you can do so as well. Last but not least, of course, it's show week. So pick up your tickets for LPW times CWS number 9. We've got our first blindfold match between Zoe Sager and T.Y. Jackson. We've also got the crowning of the first ever champion of Salvation, Taryn from Accounting, and Stephen Crow taking part in what I am assuming is your main event, but I'll find that out when I get the run sheets, brother. Thank you again for tuning in. Like Blair said, he and Pluggo and Triple B, Big Bad Boris, are going to be back here at 3 p.m. Mountain, 5 p.m. Eastern. But until then, thank you for tuning in. We will be back here next week with the Brunch Gimmick. Zach, I promise we'll figure out earlier which match we want to show. We'll probably do that. Let's not make any guarantees we can't live up to. Let's not do that. Thanks once again. We will see you on the next one. Lawrence, I got the button.
Okay.
I got you on this one. We'll see you next week, friends.
Bye.